How do I comment?
Okay.
Cults. We love cults. Let's talk about cults. Let's talk about cults.
The occult.
The
Not
occult.
the same as the cult.
Exactly. People are thinking I'm calling.
Okay.
There's a difference. The occult.
The energy is here.
Okay.
I wonder if they can hear him. Surely.
Bring it closer.
And then you won't get so much. Hi guys. Can you hear me if I'm back here? We've got some juicy information.
This food too?
You can have whatever you want.
Okay, we're going to talk about the new age movements that are seminar companies and personal development things. Courses. So what's the difference between a cult and a cult, or explaining what makes something any cult?
Really far away. I just want you to keep talking about what you were talking about.
Okay, what were we just saying?
You were talking about the experience on how you realized that.
What were we just talking about? I was talking about something. What was it?
The plane crash and how
Okay.
you were talking to that guy. Let's just talk about all the things. What are you feeling right now? Let's just tell me what you're going through at the moment.
Oh my gosh. So, at the moment, we're live on two different things right now, but it's here. Okay. Hello, TikTok. So, I've been recently uncovering a very dark truth that I was in an occult organization for 8 years. And, yeah, it's just, there's a lot of conditioning and mind control that was happening, and that's what I'm realizing is so much, everything in the program, in the classes, in the work that they think you're doing the work, that you think that you're healing, and you think you're going through a very deep spiritual process. You know, they call it spiritual, they call it connection to your superconscious, and they call it expanding consciousness, but really what was happening the entire time was mind control. It was a big psychological trauma, really. So for 8 years, I was kind of going through this trauma. And it took me 3 weeks of, healing myself here, and especially it's now been over a month here. I've been in Costa Rica, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm waking up to so much dark truth about the founder of PSI seminars, about how sacrifices occurred, and yeah, come sit with me.
I'm gonna finish the
Fries.
French fries, but
I was saying something earlier before I left to the washroom, David. What was it? What was I saying?
what are your notes?
So the funny thing in the Life Success course, so the 7-day course for men, it's both men and women. One of the exercises is they get you to line up based on how much income you make. Like what?
So corrupt.
What? And I remember being 18 years old, and obviously I wasn't making that much money, so I remember being in the back of the line. And that's another, just those exercises in itself, because they have cameras on you the entire time. I don't think the facilitators were even in the room, but they record everything that happens in the seminar room. So on the ranch, they have oh my gosh, I cannot English right now.
They have cameras.
The pavilion, it was called the pavilion. The pavilion. So they had the seminar room, and they would record everything that was happening when you had your eyes closed, with every single exercise, every single lecture.
Creepy.
Everything was recorded. Absolutely everything was being recorded. And so I remember, it was called the Life Success Lineup. So they would line you up based on how much income you make. And I thought that was it's funny that exercise came back to me, and I remembered that because I'm like, oh, so they're really looking to see how much money everybody's making, so they can see who
To manipulate.
they can manipulate, because they want to take all your money, because you were saying that money is energy.
Yeah,
and
money
when
is
you're
energy.
invested, yeah, what were you saying? I loved what you said about that.
So money is energy. It is probably the strongest form of energy at the moment, because that's how we value our worth. Our worth
Right.
is exchanged in money at the moment. We won't always live this way. We'll live in shared abundance at one point. So
Right.
what people do, though, especially in the occult and that world, is money is everything. And if you can, the best way to control people is through money.
Right. Oh, and that's the craziest part, because these courses, I mean, the basic seminar, I think, is $850 Canadian. And then the Life Success course is like $5,000. And then women's and men's leadership is another like $6,000. And you can package for $8,000 if you want to. And then they continue to make you do another course every single year, which is another $5,000.
Well, and it's another thing with money is the people who don't have it, they're okay with taking it from them, and then they use that against you.
And they'll never refund you, ever. If you have any issues, if whatever issue you have, they will never refund you.
Well, of course not.
Never, ever.
But money, the energy is so manipulative, because if you don't have it, then they use that against you, like, we're going to have to help you. You have to work towards this. Look at these people who do have it. You're not on that level yet.
Just set your intentions, and you'll get there. Just manifest.
And the people who do have it,
Intention
they totally
mechanism.
take advantage of you.
And another funny thing that I just remembered, I was like laughing. So, on this ranch, and thank God they sold this ranch. This is why so much is coming to light about the darkness, because everything that happened, everything of rituals, the rituals occurred on this ranch, Clear Lake Oaks High Valley Ranch in California. And that's where the founder sacrificed himself, and that's where the other members also sacrificed themselves, was on this ranch in the plane crash. And so it's a ranch, right? They got cows. They got cows on this ranch, and the cows shit.
I don't think you have to yell.
Am I really loud?
Yeah.
I'm just really excited.
I know.
Oh my god. Okay, so they have cows on this ranch, right? And so they have cow shit everywhere, like cow poop everywhere. They have cow shit. And so what they would do, the staff of the ranch, whatever, they would pick up the cow shit, and they would put the cow shit on a plaque and say, "This is your shit." And they would reference shit as in like your subconscious belief systems, your limiting beliefs, what you're working through. And
like your shadow, they'll say this is your shit.
Yeah, your shadow, right? What you're working on. This is your shit. You know, always calling you out on your shit. And so what they did, they put the shit on a plaque, and they painted it with gold. And they introduced it to the Life Success course, hundreds of people, and they said, here's your shit. Do you want a reminder to get out of your shit? Buy it. $150. And majority of that, pretty much everybody bought it, including myself. I bought a plaque of shit. That just goes to show how strongly
the manipulation is.
How strongly brainwashed.
Okay.
Oh shit. Be a little bit too excited here. Oh my god.
Well, I'm fine. I hit my butt.
So funny.
Okay.
Share this on me. How do I share
Zuna.
this?
What's
Okay.
going on?
I'm gonna explain to the
We're
people.
like too excited right
Yeah,
now.
we're very excited. Let me try this again. Okay, so I'm gonna explain a little bit of where we are right now. So during your mentorship program here, we literally just break things down all the way, because you have to know your depth of darkness to be able to bring it to light fully. So to be fully in light, to be fully in truth, we have to uncover all of the darkness. So right now, Deryas is breaking through information that she is realizing about the PSI program. It's like a personal development program. Yeah. I was unaware of it, but it sounded pretty much like the same kind of occult situation that goes on in Hollywood, where there's like, to be super successful, you have to sacrifice something, and a lot of that it's blood, gender, what did I say? Blood, gender, something like blood or gender, blood, sacrifice, or gender.
Yeah.
Zuna, come on.
It's like, I'm in front of you right now.
You guys need to calm down. So, if you're familiar with PSI, what does it stand for?
Personal Success Institute. Landmark is another common one, but it's all bridged from the same company and the same guy who founded it, William Penpatrick. And then, so he was the teacher and the father of this movement, who taught Thomas Wilhite and PSI seminars. Spring, there's so many companies now. And PSI claims that they're the oldest and the longest running one, but which is not true because multiple started around the same time. So and it's funny because they're always against each other, like Landmark versus PSI.
I think all of us have a lot of people have history in the personal development world, and they've, fallen for a lot of things.
Yeah. Bob Proctor is a huge one that talks about PSI being the best course. And that makes you think, like, why are these really elite people? Do you know Bob Proctor?
No.
Okay.
So this is where Deryas is. Obviously, she's super excited about this, uncovering this information, because it was 8 years of her life that she invested in this PSI situation, learning that the whole time, because what we do here is through deep healing, loving ourselves, softening ourselves, removing our ego or integrating with our ego. And what she was taught in PSI was to be a force. She was taught to be aggressive with people instead of soft with people. She was taught to work in her ego and not in her softness. So now for her healing, part of it is to she's in it, we go down the rabbit hole of things, just like, a lot of my talk right now on TikTok is about the matrix. To fully disconnect from the matrix, you have to be fully aware of everything that you're connected to. It's the same whenever we're healing. If we need to heal deeply from something, we have to get all of it. We have to get to the root of it completely. And so she's kind of on a mission of uncovering a lot, and she's called out a lot of people publicly and expressed things and made videos about it, and it's a very healing. It's a way for us to heal is through sharing, and a lot of people have also come through with stories and information of their experiences with PSI. So obviously this is something that is a big deal for people. A lot of people are experiencing these things, and so anyway, that's where we are, and she's in it pretty good. And why don't you just share with me, like, what, since accepting and surrendering to the truth that where you invested a lot of your life, turns out it was actually just a huge manipulation scheme, and that they essentially, I feel like in a way they devolved your consciousness because you were so dependent on them. And that's what a good puppet master does, is makes you extremely dependent on them. And so this is why you went constantly
I still feel depressed. Let me go staff another basic seminar. Let me go volunteer again. Let me go do an advanced class. Let me go staff an advanced class. People know I've been in the work for so long. So, yeah, it was a constant. It was a cycle. Truly, it was a cycle of trauma and abuse. Just like, someone said to me, just like an abusive relationship, when you're vulnerable. And this is the thing, it gets the vulnerable people. It gets the ones who are easily manipulated and easily brainwashed. And even just remembering me, because after just a couple times of volunteering at the first seminar, I started to fall asleep during all of the closed eye exercises. My mind, whenever I would visualize or meditate, I wasn't even able to see anything anymore. And a part of me believed it's because I was protected, It's like I was falling asleep to be protected. And then another part of me is also thinking...
Explain to them what you mean by protected.
Protected as in, I think my higher self has always been very, very protected. I believe my soul is truly born in pure love and light, and this is why, another reason, the facilitators and the higher-ups always had a lot of resistance with me. They never liked me. They always shamed me, put me down. They always questioned me and challenged me, and, you know, so there was a lot of shame that was going on. And I believe it's because they truly saw and they knew my power. They could see that every time I would speak with my truth, and they would challenge that. They would challenge and question that. And they'd always try to put me down. I remember, like, just the most ridiculous things. So they have another organization that's connected to them, Camp Choice. Camp Choice. So Camp Choice is connected to PSI seminars. And then in British Columbia, Canada, we created our own Camp Choice. We're not affiliated with PSI, although it's still very connected. In the first couple years, you know, I shouldn't even be talking about this, but I don't even care anymore. The first couple years when Camp Choice began, we had the PSI facilitators come in, I think the first year and then the second year. And I remember the second year was when I was coaching Camp Choice, and I remember that was the year I came out as bisexual, and I posted online that I was bisexual, and one of the facilitators from PSI was angry. She's like, why is she posting some, like, it didn't even, to this day, I don't understand why that upset her. And she's like, and she asked one of the higher ups in Camp Choice, like, is she coaching Camp Choice this year? Like, they always had something against me. They would make shit up. Truly, they would be making shit up just to put me down. It really did not make sense to me, but now it does. It's like, well, yeah, it was very, very strange. There was a lot. There was a lot of very weird moments.
So,
I had many, yeah.
When you got here,
Oh, God.
based on PSI, you really had an idea that
Oh,
you
my God.
knew yourself, right?
Oh, yeah. I was like, I've been doing this work for 8 years.
Yeah.
I know this.
And so you had to...
I know all of this work. I know how to heal. I know how to do it. You gotta challenge yourself. You gotta always push yourself. Get out of your comfort zone. If you're in your comfort zone, you're screwed. You cannot rest. You cannot sleep. You cannot... No, it's always go, go, go. What's next? Challenge, challenge, challenge. And so I would always be in this mode of calling other people out and preaching.
Talk to each other.
Okay. You know, calling other people
Maybe
out
so,
and
yeah.
preaching. You know. Hello, hello. Ah, sorry.
Yeah. That's a big part of what I remember
That was, yeah, it was huge.
from when you got here is that, like, calling, like,
Mm-hmm.
wanting it to be really intense, like, but this is your problem, and it's okay for me to tell you that.
Right. No, exactly, because if I'm not calling other people out on their shit, which is what I was literally taught in PSI, to call people out on their shit if you see it, to challenge them, to really make people uncomfortable and shame them. It was just... And it's crazy as I say that, because it's like, that's what was always being done onto me.
Right.
Right? I was always being, yeah.
This is that learned behavior. That's a prime example of manipulation.
And it's the funniest thing, because in the women's leadership class, they teach you about softness and femininity and grace, but yet they had none of those values that they so claimed. You know, peace and love and life, compassion and forgiveness. They did not even value that themselves.
No.
They were not even operating
It's all a front.
in that love and light consciousness. They were never operating there. They were operating at such a low expression, and this was the biggest giveaway. The facilitators themselves, they were always so depressed. You can see it in their eyes. They are numb.
They had no
They
soul.
are numb. Exactly. Absolutely, their soul has been destroyed. And I believe they're trapped. I truly believe they're trapped. And it's just, yeah. It's dark. It's just so much darkness. And me being this 15-year-old, this really young girl who was just so excited about growing and learning and loving people. Like, that's why I stayed for so long. It was the people, the community. I loved meeting new people. I loved being in the basic because I was always meeting new people and supporting people. Like, that's why I stayed for so long. It was community, and that's what I craved my whole life, is community and connection.
They're so smart too. That occult value system, that mentality, they know that everything is consciousness. They're trained to that. Everything is consciousness. So if we can get in and we can manipulate their consciousness and make them not think for themselves, give everyone a narrative to follow, you must follow that narrative. That's how you get stuck in it.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to make more fries? I was starting it, but...
Exactly, and that's, I think, is the saddest part, because there are, of course, people who just do it and then they leave and they do their own thing, right? And that's great. Take the tools, take whatever works. But the people like myself who are trapped in it and staying in the system for so long. And
you were so young and...
And that's the thing, they have kids classes from 0 to 10 years old. They have children's classes. They have teen classes. They have classes for youth at risk who are literally vulnerable.
Very vulnerable.
So vulnerable. And now Camp Choice BC wants to bring in our youth into the basic, and I'm not saying anything about it in our chats, and I'm sure I'll be kicked off soon.
Yeah. Which is a blessing.
It is.
Because
I was kicked off my PLD group chat team. We're just sharing my own personal story because Haheo, the facilitator, was calling me a crab, and I was bringing other people down. Because me sharing my story, my own personal story, this is the craziest thing. They always do this with anybody. If you share your own personal story that's a bad experience with PSI, you're wrong.
well, of course.
You're wrong.
Of course.
Because PSI is perfect. It's just, and it's so funny, I always sold into that story too. I would laugh. They would literally say, oh yeah, this is what I was talking about. In the beginning of every basic seminar, the PSI basic seminar class, when they have the introduction, the first thing they say to you is, yeah, we have hundreds of stuff online that says we're a cult, but like, don't believe it, like, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, they literally say it to you.
They start with that.
They start with that. They start with telling you. Yeah,
because
they say we're a cult.
It's the thing. In that type of a cult, it's a part of the ritual to say what it is you're doing. You have to that's just the way musicians do in their music. They have to say what they're doing. That's just like whenever I was telling you that, was it Megan Fox and Jennifer, one of them said that they had a dick. Like,
they literally tell you, and it's like in Hollywood, they say it in their lyrics, they say it in their movies, everything is right in your face.
It has to be.
It's right in your face. And it's the same thing with PSI, it's the same thing with all these personal development gurus, you know, these really, really big gurus, Brene Brown, Bob Proctor. It's right in your face. But you become so, because you literally, this is the,
You like worship them.
You worship them. And this is the thing with PSI. They literally have the founder, Thomas Wilhite, they have his face on the workbook of the Life Success Course workbook, that's a 100-page workbook. His face is on it. They talk about the plane crash story. They continuously talk about this man. They had his grave. You would hike up to his grave up on High Valley Ranch, and people would go and worship this man.
It's such an energy siphoning system.
Exactly. And
It's
this is
all what that is about.
Yes.
It's about
Energy
siphoning energy.
Tell me more about that. What does that mean?
Energy siphoning, so essentially, the one I always use as an example is the, what is that football game?
Oh, Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is a huge energy siphoning system. The whole thing with George Floyd, energy siphoning system. What it does is it gets people in a group. Competition is third dimensional. Competition does not exist in higher dimensions. So something like any competition with professional sports, it's one against the other, and people get like absolutely insane about their team. They worship their team. So it's literally siphoning energy, and then you have the really disturbing, dark halftime show. It's always ritualistic. The whole thing is to literally siphon energy into the lower dimension.
This is making a lot of sense. Competition. They talk about that in the PSI Basic Seminar, the 3-day class. And on Saturday night, on day 2, they have the game. It's called the Red-Black game. Oh my gosh.
All of the things.
Oh my gosh.
It's good.
I need to hear for this. Oh my gosh, this is really big. So during the Red-Black game, they put the students into 2 separate groups, 2 separate teams. They separate the students half. They separate the class in half.
Let me eat those.
1, 2, 3 left. So they separate the class into half, and they have team 1 and team 2, or group 1 and group 2. And the purpose of the game is to win. They tell you the answer is win-win right in your face, and it's red, and you vote red or you vote black. Black is the highest amount of points, red is the negative points. So they represent black as giving and red as taking. And while this event is happening for 30 minutes, they leave them alone. They leave them alone for 30 minutes. They're playing the game, and they're trying to figure out the strategy, how to win the most positive amount of points. And the purpose of the game, at the end, they give them this big lecture of whatever. It's like really intense and really serious, and they say, well, the purpose was to win, and you guys didn't win, because the purpose is win-win, black and black. So, I'm trying to explain this the best way I can, but I'm thinking how you just said this is energy siphoning. And they basically say, the way you play this game is the way you play your life.
Oh, wow.
So your subconscious belief system is how you play this game, because we're always in competition with each other, right? So we're in competition with ourselves.
They're pretty much saying that's acceptable, to be in competition.
No, they're saying the purpose is to win, so the purpose is, for all of us to work together, is what they're saying.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to explain this the best way I can. I'm just thinking of the energy siphoning. I'm like, I wonder if that's what's also happening during that 30 minutes, that they're in there and they're in their subconscious belief systems, and they're basically saying that it's your subconscious beliefs that play that game. So some people don't speak up. Some people, just sit in the back, and they're like, this is your life, basically.
What is the basis of the game?
The purpose of the game is to show you how you live your life. To mirror.
But how do you win? What is the action?
So you either vote for red or for black. So black, if one team votes black and the other team votes black, that's a +5. If one team votes red, and
is it all intuitive? I guess, like you just decide.
You kind of just have to figure out because they tell you the only way to win is to accumulate the most positive amount of points. So, but they don't tell you though that you're actually one big team, because they separate you into 2 groups.
Oh.
But they don't tell you, and they're not telling you you're against each other, but everybody's belief system automatically thinks competition.
Right.
So that's
what we're programmed to believe.
We're programmed to believe competition. So the purpose of the game is to basically say, we're not in competition, we're all together. There's no separation, everybody's one. They teach all those concepts: connection, separation is an illusion, the reality and oneness. They talk about the reality and oneness. And so at the end of the game, they basically leave you by yourself to complete silence, and you go home at the end of the night. And the next day, you have an exercise where you talk about how I'm playing black in my life and how I'm playing red in my life. So how I'm giving in my life and how I'm taking from my life. So it's a big mirror for your life, and it's a big mirror of the world, really. So I'm just thinking,
how did you feel the next day whenever you would present your reflection?
Well, you only play the game once. That's the thing. So this game, whenever you're a student, for the first time, you only get to play it once. So if you come back in staff or come back and re-audit, you just watch. And it's really interesting. A lot of people come back just to watch the game, just to see how other people are playing. And I never understood that. And the facilitators will say this too, like, you don't need to come back and watch the game. Like, people always are so intrigued with how other people are playing and how other people are operating in their lives instead of looking into themselves. So you would get like 20 and 30 people coming in just to watch them, just to watch the game. It was very strange, and you would be in silence, sitting just staring at them. Complete silence. You can't say anything, and they look back and they're like, "Can we ask you guys questions?" And we're just like,
You had to stay silent.
"Oh yeah, complete silence. We couldn't say a word." Yeah, we had to be in complete silence, and the facilitator.
What happened if you said a word?
told nothing would happen, they would just tell you to stop talking. But we're not allowed to give them the answers, right? We're not allowed to say anything to them. But I think it was interesting how people would come in just to watch the game versus doing any self-reflection on
It's
themselves.
the same thing with all of the competitions. It's how can we
Exactly.
keep you out of the present moment?
Yeah.
And how can we get people invested in other people's lives?
Yeah.
So you, what is the word I said yesterday? Where you, God, words.
I know, I'm like English right now.
Comparison.
Mm.
You're consistently comparing yourself to what other people are doing, how they're living their life, if they are more successful. It's the same thing with all of the
Right.
stuff you're saying, is
Yeah.
everyone is comparing themselves to everyone. And the comparison is the root of self-hate. It's like,
Yeah.
that's why the Kardashians are as big as they are, because people literally
Oh yeah.
think that they're the worst piece of shit because they watch the Kardashians like crazy, because they don't have that lifestyle.
No, exactly.
And it's perfect. It's an energy cycling system. And what I mean by that is anything that is low on the vibrational scale, fear, shame, guilt, doubt, all of that, it feeds the 3D matrix. It feeds that energy generator.
And that's why I was wondering, I'm like, why is PSI doing this? Why are they doing this? They're
because
feeding
they were,
into that
yes,
dark.
they had to. This is what they said, okay, I want success. And
Yeah.
then
They're not
say,
doing
okay, well,
it
you have
for
to
the
do it.
betterment of other people.
No,
They're
because
not.
you all feel in fear and comparison and all
Yeah.
of that the whole time you're there.
Yeah. It's a huge fear game, and you think, and people think they're doing the work. People think that they're happy and they're achieving their goals. And yes, I achieved many goals because of that. But it's like, it's exactly, it siphons your energy and keeps you trapped in that system itself. It's all part of that system. And all these movements, everything, like it's part of the liberal CIA. It was saying like all like, there's just so much. There's so much. Oh my God.
Sounds like a big distraction from going within.
Personal, absolutely. It sounds exactly like that. It sounds like a huge distraction that says, if you follow these rules,
And they'd always
you'll be
say,
good, but don't go inside.
Yeah.
results, option hardship, always fair. They always say you have to look at your results. That's how you can measure how successful you are, how happy you are, how emotionally well you are, by results. So they manipulated this very big programming that if you are not making a lot of money, if you don't have abundance, if you don't have freedom, if you don't have X, Y, Z, you haven't made it.
Wow.
And it was the same thing with taking the advanced courses. If you haven't reached WLS or MLS, men's leadership or women's leadership, you haven't made it. Because you haven't done the hierarchy of the courses.
There is
You
a
haven't-
personal development there. That's like,
And to have that hierarchy of like even like outside events, people would have PSI dinners, but if you're not a WLS grad or an
You don't get
MLS
to
grad,
go.
you don't get to go. Like our Christmas dinners every year or whatever. It's like it was specifically for, it was truly a hierarchy. And that hierarchy is like, why is there a hierarchy in a personal
Separation.
development?
separation.
Right. Separation. Huge, huge separation. Oh man. And the 90-day program, PLD, 90-day coaching, they had you create 4 goals. And they never focused on the other 3 goals. No, they only focused on the one, which was enrollment. Enrolling you, that
Money.
you have to enroll other people,
How many
your
people can you
friends,
manipulate?
your family. There would be literally exercises during PLD where you would be writing down hundreds of people you know. Let me write down all my friends and all their phone numbers so I can go and call them and enroll them to the basic seminar. That
Did
was
you enjoy that?
absolutely.
No.
No.
Or you did it anyway?
I was so depressed. I was so angry in that course, but I did it because I thought this was what I was supposed to do. Like this is where I'm gonna achieve all my goals and publish my book. I never published my book. I never did anything that I actually wanted to do.
Because all of your energy was expended to to them.
Yeah.
You fed them energetically, consistently.
That's the biggest one.
It makes people feel inferior. That whenever people
yeah.
worship them
Yeah.
and they're
And they give out
siphoned the energy.
they give out awards on ACK Night, on our graduation PLD ACK Night. They give out awards for the top enroller, awards for the person who enrolled the most, the person who had the most biggest transformation. It was all a hierarchy. It was all a competition. And yet there's a company that's saying we're not about competition, we're about love and light, but yet you're creating competition.
They actually use those words like love and light.
All the
Ever?
time.
Oh wow.
No, like giving unconditionally, love, compassion, all of this, world peace.
Manipulation.
Wow. So much. So
Your
much.
actions have to match words, people.
And they be drinking alcohol and smoking cigarettes all the time.
Just loving their
partying.
life so much that you have to numb it.
Oh my god, and you can see it in their faces. You can see like they're dying. They're just
Drained of energy.
so yeah.
Did you ever see the head people? Like, did they?
All of them. I knew all of them. All of them. Yeah, and it's really funny. I remember the founder's wife. She's still alive. She's very old now, and it's funny. They all have this like mask of like super happy and like just giddy and like, da, 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 and it's
They
like,
could very well be a mask.
no, like yeah, it's all mask.
No, literally, it could very well be a mask.
Yeah.
Because if they're reptilians and they were born into it,
Yeah.
they wear masks.
There are so there's certain higher ups where they have children and they're born into it. So all the higher ups I believe are actually
Family.
born into it. They're all family.
Yeah, it's
They're all
family.
cousins. They're all family. So they're
You
all
but that's what the occult does.
Yeah.
They keep it in the family because they know that this is what you have to do.
exactly. That's why there's no new facilitators. There hasn't been a new facilitator for over 20 years. I think for 30 years. Nobody has been in the higher ups for over 20, 30 years. Yeah.
This is why we were once a slave race. I mean, it's gotten better
Yeah.
because these negative ETs came here and they started creating hybrids with the humans, and then this is so that they could have more powerful families to carry out all of this low frequency rituals,
Yeah.
this low frequency siphoning.
Exactly. That's exactly what's happening. Who do we got here?
Yeah, anti-racism is energy siphoning system.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Anything Black Lives
Everything.
Matter stuff, it's all
Everything.
about siphoning energy.
All of it. Anything political. Anything that's a system, really. Any questions, y'all? Feel free to ask. I'm also thinking now, me falling asleep, was that also part of, being brainwashed and programmed while I was falling asleep? I think that could be also part of it.
I think those are gonna be strong.
You put a lot of garlic on them? I love how this person said trust fund hippie kids.
I wish. What?
Right? That'd be amazing.
I want some money.
I wouldn't be asking for donations on that.
Send them my way, okay? Eat the rich, people. Eat the rich.
What does that mean? Bringing out evil in me?
Hmm? Where?
Yes, it's unnecessary. Temptress.
I think they're having conversations back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh,
probably because
People are talking to
the
themselves.
people are saying, they say such really low vibe stuff.
We're also live on Mama's TikTok right now, so.
Yes, these white kids in the jungle are experimenting with shrooms and bufo.
I love when people call me white. Someone called me a cracker the other day.
Did you talk to them in Kurdish?
Huh?
Did you say something
Oh,
to
I
them?
should. Oh, that would have been
You should.
funny.
You should do that.
That would have been really funny. Like, I'll show you white.
That's so creepy. Oh.
What is happening? Some random people.
All right. Well, not much to see here. What do you think about Australia being in their extended lockdown from COVID? Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I think about that. Everything is designed divinely because there are high-frequency grid-locking systems across the entire Earth plane. And this grid-locking system is very much Australia. And because of that, they're trying to prevent them from expanding their consciousness by traveling, and they're also just working to devolve their consciousness. Or Chel. So I would say what the design is really for is to get people to stand up and say, no, I'm not doing this. And that's something that I would love to see a lot of people do. I would love to see people decide to use their own brain. And
So
there's
do you think they don't have to leave then? They just need to, everybody kind of needs to.
Everybody, I mean, you can't take down the whole place, but people are being so programmed. It's all over the Earth plane. This is everywhere. It's so unfortunate that it's happening to a very high frequency grid locking system, which is Australia. What would you recommend doing right now to improve ourselves? To improve yourselves, I don't know if I would say it that way. I would say everything we need to be focused on is raising our frequency, raising our vibration. I'm working on it. Because each person individually, whenever we heal ourselves, whenever we choose the highest frequency consumption, that means in our food, in our music, in our TV, in our talk, and everything we do needs to be vibrating at a certain level. There's actually a vibrational scale if you wanted to look into it. And it's important for us to reach and sustain those frequencies, because the more of us that do, then the more of us that raise out of the lower dimensional. Everybody who's in fear, everybody who is in shame about the COVID, about the vaccine, all of that, all they're doing is keeping the lower frequency vibrating more than the higher frequency, the higher dimension and lower dimension. And so if we each heal ourselves and we don't live in fear and we don't comply into all of that, we stop watching the news, stop drinking the sodas, stop eating the chemicals in the food, all of these things that were literally designed to keep our frequency down, if we would start taking responsibility for our actions and taking responsibility for our health and our awareness and our consciousness, we would, the third dimensional, the lower dimensional collective would dissolve. Literally, it would dissolve, because this is what this is. It's all war on consciousness. Everything is. So to win that war, we have to expand our consciousness. Everything that the Matrix creates, everything that the lower dimensional program is to devolve our consciousness. The chemicals in the food, the chemicals in the drink, the chemicals in your water, all of it is to devolve our consciousness.
Thinking about what you said about the masks and the reptilians. Tell me more. I'm like, tell me more about this, because they're not.
Yeah,
They're
reptilians literally
different.
wear masks.
Yeah.
Masks, but it's a literal mask.
So they're not human.
Correct.
Okay, so what is a reptilian?
Whenever unity consciousness was disrupted by the negative ETs, they came in and made hybrid babies with humans.
Okay, so that's why the evil existed.
Yeah, negative ETs wanted to take over the Earth plane.
They're not humans, they're hybrids.
They're hybrids.
Wow.
And so they have to wear masks to hide their...
So what about the children of the children of the children? Like the children, the kids, like,
well,
there's some that are my age.
They all procreate together.
Yeah.
They stay in the family. Everybody stays in the family.
Yeah.
But the thing is it's 3D will always be there, and reptilians and the negative draconians. So there's higher frequency draconians and reptilians. They're not all negative, but the ones that are negative will remain in the 3D. It will continue to operate. The 3D will always be there. It's us that has to raise out of it. We have to do that.
Oh, I'm thinking if someone was a sacrifice. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I know, dude. It goes deep.
This was like 2 years ago. Holy shit. Oh god. Yeah, because you have to continue the sacrifices, right?
Yeah, you have to keep doing it.
For it to keep going.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I think.
Yeah, you have to keep going with it.
Bro.
Someone said Jesus loves you, and I'm going to tell you about Jesus. Jesus is a character that, have a seat, stay a while. Jesus is a character in a book written by humans to create a narrative. This character is an incredible depiction of how powerful humans are. The problem is, all of you who don't believe in your power praise this one idea, this one symbology. He's a symbol of who we are, how powerful we can be as humans. Everything Jesus did, we have the power to do, but most people don't believe it. So they just praise this symbol of a person. When in actuality, if we would just keep working on ourselves, we would do all the things that Jesus did. We have those abilities. You're the person who thinks that you can't, because what the system did, what the lower dimensional narrative did, was told you that you are nothing without this symbol of a person, this Jesus person. He's incredible because he's us. That is us. That's the story of humans. So I honor and respect that character because of who he is us. Gracias. You don't want any.
I do.
You think they're they're hot.
More?
Someone said, damn, lost me. What you're saying is true. The character of Jesus is true. Yeah. No, it's a character.
Worker,
yeah, and the thing that he did that we all have the capability of doing is manipulating energy. We are literally here to manipulate energy because everything is energy. And what the word manipulation means is if you can manipulate energy, meaning if you can control your energetic field, if you can control yourself in a crowd of people, that is energy manipulation because we are energy. So our main goal, our responsibility of being these powerful humans is to align our energy pillar. This is us. This full thing. We go all the way up there, and all the way into the core of Gaia. Tara. And it is our responsibility to keep ourselves aligned. The only way that this energy here can be aligned, the only way we can manipulate it, is through taking responsibility for our actions. That's choosing high frequency foods. That's choosing high frequency television. Just turn off the television. We don't need that crap. Everything like that is a distraction.
To tell you lies. I think that's what it means. Television. Something.
Tell a vision.
Yeah.
Tell a vision. And literally, y'all, every single corrupt thing that is working for us to believe a certain narrative, it's plain and simple. It's literally written out in front of you. Even Jesus Christ, Christos light, is the energy we gain from the sun. Father, Son was part of our conception. The first humans were conceived without sex. They were conceived through consciousness. So literally, it's all there for us. I just want to know why they call him Jesus. Oh!
Jesus!
Why is his name Jesus? Like, where did that come from? Anyway, what else? There's documents that prove the existence of Christ. Y'all have got to get off this idea that documents in history are for truth. That is crazy to think that people want what's best for you in the system. Everything is a lie because it's a narrative. Whenever you say history isn't freaking real because history says that there's a past and a future. There is no past and future. There is only the present moment. There's multiple present moments, but there is no history. There is no past. So you can't have all of that as truth. It's just all manipulation from the system.
I think we should give them some more time in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, who are we talking about?
That was good.
Where do you get your truth?
I love when people ask this question. Like,
the same place you could get yours if you unlocked it. If you believed in yourself the way I believe in myself, you would have all of this information unlocked because it's all stored in our cell memory. Since the beginning of humans, since my first incarnation as a human, everything about creation is stored in my cell memory, in everybody's cell memory. Those are called, in some people's words, the Akashic records. So what I do is I tap open that cell memory. I activate my DNA. I have an open channel for source because it's my energy is aligned, so I can hear these truths very well. You have that ability too. Everybody has that ability, but because people believe that there is someone who's more powerful than them, which would be this Jesus Christ person, that you don't go inside. You have to go inside. That's a really sensitive topic, isn't it?
I know.
I love it. It's good.
Would you ever consider making podcasts about all these things you know? Yeah, I would love that. I love talking about this stuff. And once again,
We will make a podcast soon. We will do that.
what happens when we die? We don't die. Death isn't real. I just did a whole video about this. If you'd like to go to my YouTube, it's actually on my TikTok. Death is not real. Nobody dies. It is a fear trap that the Matrix program created to keep people from believing in their powers. Because if we all knew that whenever this body expires, our soul goes back into our higher council, it meets with our higher self, and the body expires. That's it. The soul is eternal. It continues to go on and on and on. It will continue to come down into this earth plane and participate in the human experience for as long as it needs to clear up all of the karmic timelines it has created. And every time you feed into, you create more low frequency karma, low vibrational karma, that means, you know what that means, I think. Do they know what that means?
Huh?
Low vibrational karma?
No, what does that mean?
Okay, so every time you choose the lower frequency option in every situation, there's a high frequency and a low frequency. There's a high vibration option, there's a low vibration option. We genuinely know what that low vibration option is. Every time we do that, we create karma, which is another timeline. The more karma you create, the more timelines you have to finish during your human experience. So that means...
What's a timeline?
A timeline is alternate parallel realities. And all of these alternate parallel realities are working in the present moment, right now, right here. Even if it is
I was removed from my group chat. Let's go. I was removed from Camp Choice. Oh my god.
How did this all come to be like life itself? It's so weird. Yes, you are a blessing to everyone. Thank you for being the voice of truth and reason. You're welcome. The Matrix is a challenge. And you know what the thing is we created this challenge. Consciousness created this challenge through karma. The first karma that was ever created was this character of Adam and Eve. These two people ate an animal, which is an equal soul. When they did that, this forbidden fruit was an equal soul. When they did that, they created the biggest, longest, strongest karmic cycle that there is. So anytime you participate in eating another soul, which is eating a dead animal, you are continuing this karma. If we would all stop eating other souls, then I just lost like 10 people. Then we would clear this karma, and then the animals would be free of this, and this whole karmic cycle would stop. I know it's not going to happen in our soonness, but it's actually gaining a lot of momentum. Do you I don't know what that is. Reincarnation is 100% real.
Really removed me. I was the chair of production. I ran their websites. I did everything for them. I was a technical director.
Some people on the chat chose low energy. Yes, that would be you. Do you believe today is important to get some sun rays, big energy outside? If you claim that there's big energy outside, then that's beautiful for you to claim that, but that's your truth, you know? I personally do not claim that anything outside of myself has energy that's going to affect me. However, I get sun daily because sun, Father Sun, is how we are created. This is how our energy is created. So Father Sun is absolutely, definitely something you should be in the sun for because of the energy and the Christos light codes. We can get light codes from the sun. It's incredible. Y'all, if I knew how to cook out this voodoo nuts person, I would, but I don't know how to kick them out. I don't know if you can. Let me see if I'll try. I don't know how to do it. Oh, I did it! I just learned something new. Oh, you guys are in for it. I'm going to start blocking the shit out of you people. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, I love it.
How?
You just tap on their name. Oh, this is...
Maybe it's an update.
Well,
No, it's not an update.
I think it's probably just a user error. That would be me.
Oh.
They are now forcing people in Costa Rica to get the shot before December. No, they're not. I live in Costa Rica. They're not doing that. That's not happening. We don't have any of that happening here. If you read that online, it's false. It's propaganda. I'll tell you how I know these things. I just went to Panama to reset my visa. And whenever I went to I wanted to learn about new places to visit there. So I go to the Panama, type Panama, what to do, whatever. And the first thing that pops up that says, if you go to Panama, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. And I was like, what? I have all my friends here that have gone to Panama to reset their visa. So I contact my friend who had just gotten back, and I was like, do you know what this is? And she's like, propaganda. And I was like, holy crap, that's intense. So I am sure of it. There's propaganda like that in the Costa Rica. Because why? We're a high energy vortex. And they don't want people to come here and raise their consciousness. This is all a war on consciousness. If you want to know truths about places, countries that you want to visit, the best thing to do is reach out to people who live there. Jesus also said not to worship him, and that's what all these Christians are doing. They don't realize. You're completely right. No, he hasn't answered your prayers. You have created them. Whenever you start believing in yourself, so many more amazing things would happen in your life. You are powerful. It is you. It's not him. You are creating this. Bigfoot is... I'm not talking to that guy. I blocked him. It's kind of a dick. Can you fully ascend and be overweight and have bad habits? You cannot fully ascend if you are still in low frequency. And I guess bad habits in your words would be eating low frequency foods. You just can't, you cannot ascend because frequencies have to match. If you are at a low frequency, if your body is at a low frequency because of your consumption, and then also comes shame and guilt with that consumption. Shame and guilt are vibrate at 150. Love, peace, harmony, compassion vibrate at 700. If you're at 100, you're not going to get to higher dimensions through bad habits, like you call them. Anything low frequency will not get you there. But there are people who, it doesn't matter your size, it doesn't matter your weight. People can be extremely healthy and be at a different weight than you, and if you want to decide that they're overweight, that's a judgment. And it's a judgment of yourself if you're speaking about yourself, because judgment is also at the very bottom. So if you're judging yourself, you should really learn to love yourself because you're perfect just the way you are. Oh, I'm sorry you're a history major. You just got told a lot of things that they wanted you to believe. Ancient Queen said, hi, Nikolai.
Hi. I'm not even in the live.
Well, you talked earlier.
What about those fries?
It is all inside. Everything we need to know is in literally our entire the makeup of our body. This whole vessel, this vehicle holding our energetic body, we are energy, all of us, all of it. So every single cell is created through memory. So all of the things that have happened in our existence are stored inside of us. All we have to do is unlock them. It's powerful. Where are my children? Imagine that. Are they with you, Nikolai?
Bastian.
Zuna, venga. Venga. I'm not understanding what you mean, great talk, but how. I've seen how. I don't understand that. Why are there so many mosquitoes? I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Oh, thank you, love. We're all made of energy, correct? Amazing. I respect your beliefs.
Like, imagine that they kicked me out for what? Like, they're not even affiliated with PSI.
Oh, they had to do that.
Yeah.
You were not allowed to speak.
Yeah.
You can't speak those
Yeah.
things.
Zuna!
Okay. Please tell us more about karma. Okie dokie. Here I go. And I'll answer the next one. What's your experience with twin flames? Yeah, two of my favorite topics. Okay. Karma is energy. Everything is energy. But what karma is another timeline. So whenever that people say you need to clear your karma or you're creating more karma, guess what? You're creating more timelines. That means if you and me, we decided to have sex, this energetic exchange would create multiple timelines where we are doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, all of these different things. We could become married in different timelines. This is why it's so incredibly important to be very, very protective of who you exchange energy with. Also, if me and you bump into each other on the street, and you're like, you know, a dick to me, and I respond back in that way where I match your frequency, we're also creating karma. However, if you do that and I stay in my energy and I don't exchange with you, there is no karma created. This is why it's so...
What?
I've never heard that before.
Me
What was
either.
that? Was that a chicken?
It sounded like a duck.
Oh.
Is there a duck in here?
No.
Will you yell at Zuna one more time?
Zuna!
Sorry, guys, but Zuna likes to go to the neighbors and eat their compost and then throw up in bed. I've let him stay and learn something. No, here's the deal. That's an energy exchange. Just allow people to stay and put their low frequency inside of my energetic, because I'm choosing to have exchange energy with y'all. But this person who's coming in and trying to project their low frequency, I have to just get rid of them because that's an energy exchange and I'm not doing it. And this is a great example of how you should respect yourself and do the same. Like, it's unacceptable for people to just siphon like that. There she is, licking her lips.
Oh,
Very dirty feet. You know you're in trouble. You don't get attention. Ugh.
No, Zuna.
Oh, Zuna.
Not
¿Por
okay.
qué?
Not okay.
Acostarse.
No.
So that was karma. I think I gave some information about karma. Karma is exchanging energy, and if it's a low frequency, then you're creating a low frequency karma. If it's a high frequency, you're also creating karma. However, it's a more beautiful path, but regardless, To ascend fully, you have to clear all your karma. It means you have to be entirely in your own energy. What?
That's a duck. We
So
have
the
a duck.
more low frequency karma you create,
it's harder to get out of it.
Yeah, the more you keep yourself from, you can really
It's
evolve.
more
as long
difficult.
as
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Because
you're feeding that.
if you're creating low frequency karma, you're feeding that energy, so it just makes it harder. It's like you're treading water. You're treading energy. Okay, I want to answer what is your experience with twin flames? You guys are going to love this. You and you are your twin flame. Our twin flame is us, and I would say our higher self, reunion, kind of. But the most important thing is the symbology of twin flame is to light your internal flame. When people say, oh, I found my twin flame, you will always call to you your match, because frequencies have to match. So if you are in a very low place and you meet someone and you think that they're the most amazing person you've ever met, they also match your energy. So everything you're holding on to that you haven't healed, they will also come in with that same healing, because every single person that we meet is a reflection for us, of us. So the way to actually become and integrate your twin flame is to fall in love with yourself. We are our twin flame. So the more work we do with ourselves, the more healing we do, the more love we have for ourselves, the more we ignite that flame inside of us and we become a bonfire of love. And when we do this, we don't need anyone else to love us. Anyone we decide to exchange intimacy with, they will also be very much in love with themselves, so they don't need anything from us either. That is a twin flame. This is why people make so much freaking money off of this, because everything they tell you is, oh, you're going to find her today, you're going to find him today, you're going to do this, da, da. No. You will always call to you what you are. So if I am like, I need a man, and I'm unhealed and I still have inner child issues or whatever it is, I will call to me someone who is going to reflect that. And then guess what? That's their whole lesson, to reflect it to me and to move on. Because we call to us who we match with, frequency-wise. So the thing that I'll tell you is, if you want to be madly, passionately in love with a partner, you have to be that way with yourself. How much love you receive is how much love you give yourself.
Right on.
Right on. Have you ever been leashed in a submissive relationship? I cannot wait to... I'm so glad I know how to block you people. Someone asked, is the end near? There is no end, y'all. I just said that. Like, there is no end. There isn't. This is a continuous present moment. So all of this is to keep you in fear. Because the more you're in fear, the more energy you siphon out. Someone said, did you find your kids? I was talking about my dogs. But yes, I called them back. Divine union is another spiritual word. It's the same thing. You can be in divine union, but first you have to be whole. If we are not whole, WHOLE, then we will always look for someone to fill up our love tank. Our love tank has to be so full that it's literally spilling over, so that we don't require anything from anyone at all to be love and to have our love tank full. What the divine union is whenever a healed person who knows their power, who's in love with themselves, meets another healed person who knows their power, who's in love with themselves. And what they do is they share overflowing love together. And when they share overflowing love, this one doesn't need anything from this one, and autonomy is honored. That is the highest, most beautiful honor, is autonomy. If we can get to where you accept me for who I am, for my autonomy, and they can accept you. This is divine union. That is how it is in higher dimensions. In higher dimensions, we honor autonomy. There is no label. There is no, you're mine, I need you to do this, I expect you to be that. No, it's just, I am me, and I am responsible for my happiness. I am responsible for loving myself. If you come in and you want to love me too, great. But I'm not expecting it from you. Hi. I'm in the middle of getting low energy people out of my life. It's hard, but worth it. Absolutely. Always choose yourself. Why do people want me to stand up? Why have multiple people told me to stand up? No, that wasn't a monkey. I assure you, it came from inside the kitchen. Do you smoke? No. And I'm assuming you mean cannabis. Cannabis, it vibrates at 350. Love, compassion, peace, happiness, or love, compassion, peace, all of that vibrates at 700. So if I am always vibrating here and I were to smoke cannabis, I would go here. And I don't want to go here. I want to be here. So I choose not to smoke cannabis anymore. And however, I honor it as a medicine. So people who are in pain, they're down. They're down here. A lot of them are typically in fear. If you're in pain, you're in fear. So whenever they smoke cannabis, it takes them up from 100 to 350. So this is why it's good. But if I'm at 700, I'm definitely not going to go down.
I like that.
Since we have to resolve all our karma, does that mean that we should not exchange energy with others? We should be very mindful of who we exchange energy with all of the time. And I mean everyone. That's your parents, everything. Because here's the deal. If someone is not aligned in their energetic body, meaning they're angry, upset, they had a bad day, whatever it may be, and they come to you and they project that, and then what you do is you take it personally, you just exchanged energy with them, creating lower frequency timelines that you have to heal and remove. However, if someone comes in, whoever it may be, and they've had a really bad day, and they try to project onto you, and you stay calm and you don't react to them, then you don't exchange that energy. It's all about, we have to, we have to allow that to happen. It's our responsibility. So if I decide that I'm not going to react to someone, then I don't exchange my energy with them. I stay aligned, I stay whole. So it's really up to us to get ourselves in peace constantly, to embody peace so that we don't constantly exchange that lower frequency energy. How can you clear karma? You have to face your contribution to every single situation you've ever been in. You have to find your contribution to it and take the blame away from others, because everything we experience is because of our choices. And when you can do that, you can begin healing, because you have to feel it to heal it. And then you always, because everything works in a cycle. There is no linear time. So everything's in a cycle. And our karmic pattern will come around to us. When it comes to us, we get to choose each time. Each time we're presented with the same situation, it may look differently, but it's the same pattern. We'll be faced with this pattern, and we'll look at it and decide, you know what, I am going to respond differently, or I'm not going to respond at all. And as soon as we do that, the universe sees it, it releases that karma, and it'll always come back around. And the next time, it's like a test. The next time it comes back around, you choose again a higher frequency, or you choose not to react to it, and then you clear the karma. Because everything is a cycle. So the more we can find our contribution to every single situation and face the truth that we created it, everything we created ourselves, then we'll begin to start clearing karma. And then our cycle gets smaller and smaller. So we're born and our cycle's huge because we have lifetimes of karma. And then we gain more karma in this lifetime. So the more we can face our contribution to a situation, the smaller our cycle gets. And the smaller our cycle gets, the more we start ascending, because we have less debris hanging on to us. Thank you, love. How can we, got it? Twin flames are like divine mirrors. Yes, okay. Exactly. What if someone did a spell on my twin flame? I mean, if you're giving someone power to claiming that someone could put a spell on them, you probably need to handle that. You need to look at yourself and say, do I really want to give my power away to people? Someone said, how can I make my ex realize I am at fault? We're not here to make people realize anything. We're not here to tell people to heal or worry about their journey. We're here on our own personal journey, and that's where the program has told us that we're selfish if we focus on ourselves. That's the program to keep us from going inside and taking care of our own business. It is not our responsibility to get anyone else on their spiritual path or on their ascension path or to wake up from anything. It is our responsibility to take care of ourselves, and then we will reflect light to them. And when we reflect light, then they can decide to choose to heal or not. But it's not our responsibility. It's whenever we're getting attached to them healing or getting attached to them recognizing something, that whole thing, that's whenever we're deflecting our contribution. You're welcome for the twin flame explanation. Cool. I do not do free readings because money is a sacred exchange for my monetary value. This is my complimentary readings here. This is all I got for you. I operate a healing village in Costa Rica, and my mentees are my top priority, and of course my own peace. And so I do virtual intuitive guidance for personal and spiritual leaders as well. But no, I don't do free. Uh-oh. Oh, shoot. I lost that person. Where is it? Oh, crap. Someone said, hi, Chel. Do you remember me? I'm in a battle every day with I don't know what that is. What do you think about a relationship between parents and their kids? I'm actually getting some good questions tonight. Thanks, guys. Because I blocked those. Do you see what happened? I blocked all those low frequency, low vibrational people. And then good stuff started coming in. Yeah. Boundaries. What do you think about a relationship between parents and children? Those are labels. They're labels. That is part of the lower dimensional trap labels. The woman, Angie, who birthed me, is my portal. I have to know what that is.
It's a duck.
I have never heard that sound before, y'all. Maybe it's a gecko who has a cold. But, okay, sorry. Parents are our portals. Parent is a label that the Matrix gave them. If we would detach from that label, we would view them as humans having their own personal journey, doing the best that they can. So, for instance, here's how I like to say. Angie is the woman who birthed me. My older sister, she is Angie's firstborn. Okay, so this is how we can reframe ourselves to detach from the label of the identity that we think these people are supposed to fulfill. If we don't have our own personal attachment to what we think that identity is, then we won't be disappointed. And we won't have conflict. We will just have love consistently and peace. Because truly, my parents, they're the mother portal, the father portal, whatever, male portal, female portal, they are not currently in my life. And that's fine. I accept it. Because they are doing the best they can on their own human journey. They have their own things that they are going through. And I just have to surrender. And I have to respect them for where they are and what they, their journey. If they choose to heal or not, it's not my responsibility. And whenever I decided that I was going to surrender to that and I was not going to claim any of their faults based on what I think their label of identity is, I released so much pain and resentment and anger. It was so freeing. It's incredible. Is there a way to tell what frequency I'm I wouldn't worry about what frequency you're on. Just continue to make high frequency choices. Someone asked, do I have kids? I have a connection, a very strong connection to creation. I speak with unborn children who are in their, well, and born children, actually. I do speak with telepathically with children, because children still speak telepathically, because they haven't been as corrupted and as we have been and programmed. So I speak telepathically with unborn children in the mama's womb, and then children, babies. So I have many children, is the long answer. What's some of your favorite practices manifesting? I'm in Costa Rica. It's funny, some of these questions are so low frequency, and it's them exchanging their lower frequency energy. Like, it's so sad, because if you knew how much energy it took for you to post something that you wanted to get you're trying to siphon my energy. This is a prime example of energy vampires. Energy siphoning is when someone is in a low vibration and they project that on someone who is in light, who is in a high vibration. They want to bring them down, because misery loves company. This is all of these, like, these cliche quotes and stuff are very real. And so instead of me reacting to them, because I can really care less and I don't respond, these people will choose to either go away because they're not getting what they're trying to feed themselves with my high energy, and I'm not going to do it. Someone asked, how do you protect yourself when someone comes with low energy? I'm just consistently aligned. My energy pillar is aligned, so I'm always protected. That's why it's so important for us to stay in a high frequency and keep our energy in check. So if someone with a low frequency, a low vibration comes to me, it doesn't affect me. I don't respond. I don't react. But I also don't spend time in their energetic field. I will remove myself. Or I will be so stern in my high frequency that they will be uncomfortable and they'll remove themselves. Someone said, how do we fill our love tank? Self-love is a huge journey to go on. It takes a lot of commitment. You have to find your peace and love with yourself and decide that you're enough. And even just saying that consistently, I am enough, I am enough, I am everything I need, helps with that. But our love tank is full whenever we are consistently operating in compassion. Compassion and love should be the foundation of everything, because with those, we'll always be okay and we'll always have a full love tank. Thanks. Closed curtains. Excuse me, Essien. 111. Nice. If you have someone asked, how can I implement spiritual practices with young children? Include them. I think this is maybe what you're asking. So any child born after 2012, I need oil. Oh, I was looking for the stool that the thing was on. Mm-hmm. So any child born after 2012 is not under the spell. I already said this, didn't I? The spell of amnesia that all of us are under because we were born before 2012. That means that they remember their past lives. They can have no karma if you're a conscious parent who decides to heal yourself and not pass on that karma to your children. Very important. Ooh, trying to get boob slip here. Dum. Okay, I think we're coming to an end here. There's a lot of good questions, but oh jeez. White women after taking shrooms once. I've taken shrooms like at least 100 times. Okay? I mean, I've taken just kidding. Someone said, I'm guessing you're a pro-life. I don't even know what that means, I'm going to be honest, because I don't do labels. I'm just me.
Pro-life, isn't that abortion?
For it? Or against it?
Pro-life is abortion. Is this against abortion?
Oh.
Pro-choice.
You know, that's another part of that whole energy siphoning thing. Mm-hmm. Anything that's a label is energy siphoning. So if you are putting your energy into being pro this, pro that, whatever, all you're doing is giving away your energy.
It's a trap.
If you want to do whatever you want to do with your body is acceptable, because it's not mine and it's not my responsibility and I don't have to interject into it. It's a choice. What do you think of college? Academia is a trap. Because it's all a narrative.
So being pro or being against, is that a trap too?
Anything you're anti or you're giving your
pro.
energy
It's all
to. Anything
energy.
you give your energy to, right?
Yeah, so if people who are picketing around like, I'm this and that, and yelling at people to be a certain way, all you're doing is lowering your frequency, because you're just giving energy away constantly. So you can never be full. You're operating at like maybe 10%.
But people think that that's the way we can change the world.
Because they've been programmed to believe that.
Yeah.
Because everything in this matrix system keeps you away from going inside.
From your own power.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the goal. It's a war on consciousness. So the matrix system has to have you focused on all these other things outside of yourself, so that you don't go inside. Because when we go inside, we will understand our power.
Yeah.
When we understand our power, we won't deal with the shit that's going on right now. If you're in your power, you're not accepting that they're taking it away from you, because it's all that's happening is, let's see how much we can take from the people.
Everything's a distraction.
Absolutely, everything's a distraction. Hello, friend. I'm glad you caught me live as well. Yeah. How did you escape from the system? There is no escaping. That's just kind of another trap. I evolved to think for myself. I evolved my consciousness. And when I started evolving my consciousness, the universe responded and said, hey, you're not going to be able to evolve much longer here in Texas. We're moving you, and we're making sure we're taking everything that you might be attached to. It's gone. And literally, it was all taken from me. I was homeless. I didn't have a car. My body was broken. All of it. All of it was taken. Anything I could possibly have been attached to. And then Costa Rica came into my awareness. And I jumped on it, and I knew this is where I'm supposed to be. And whenever I moved here, I put myself in a really intense situation to evolve even more. And I evolved amazingly. Like, wow, I put myself in a situation that just consistently triggered me. So I had to choose to heal from it. I chose that. I chose to take each sensitive moment whenever I was triggered, and instead of responding in my old way, which is with aggression and hate and anger, I responded with compassion and love. And it took a lot of consistency. But whenever I fully committed and surrendered to embodying compassion and love, then a new timeline was created, a new door was opened for me, and then I came here to this incredible property and created Casa de Seva, where I now have people come here and stay who also are on their committed to their healing and on their healing journey. And it's beautiful, but it's all because I continue to choose to evolve. You cannot create new timelines, high frequency timelines, if you stay in your comfort zone. It's impossible. Who created the Matrix and why? That'd be the negative ETs when they took over and disrupted unity consciousness. I don't feel any way about polyamory. I don't feel any way about anyone else's choices about things. Because it's your life. And this person, yes, technically we created it. Okay, thank you, actually. The Matrix is our consciousness. It's everything that continues to... So the negative ETs came. They started with the program, but then created... well, they didn't create it. They had artificial intelligence. And through the programming, artificial intelligence, and controlling our consciousness, we began creating it because they knew the more our consciousness is programmed, the more that the lower dimensional matrix continues. So, I just said this in one of my videos on YouTube, but imagine under each big city that is a concrete jungle, there is a huge three-dimensional lower frequency generator. And all of these people who are in fear in this concrete jungle, because most big cities are really corrupt right now, and really under the programming. All of that fear is what's keeping the generator going. If all of the people would turn off the news, take off the masks, stop listening to all of the propaganda out there, then that generator would just vroom, 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 and the lower frequency would drop and the higher frequency would raise. And the more the high frequency raises, the more people get to evolve out of that lower dimension, the more we evolve, because the earth plane has already moved into a higher frequency. It went from earth to Tara, and then it goes to Gaia. So Tara's just hanging out over here, this frequency, just waiting, hoping, allowing us to match it. But you have to turn off the news. You have to turn off all of the fear mongering and disconnect from the narrative. If we were to all disconnect from it, it would just disappear, because it's fear that feeds the AI. AI is fed through energy. Fear feeds energy. And I think it's raining. Hi, from Paris, France. Hola. This is actually kind of fun. Someone said, even about murder, like you wouldn't care if I made that choice. Why should I care what choice you're making? Why should I care? That's just giving you my energy. If you decide to trap yourself in a low karma frequency, like murder, and create multiple timelines, and you have to come back into this human experience like over and over and over again to clear that, why would I care? It's not my responsibility. I care more about staying in peace. Just like I don't know what is going on out there in the Matrix. I honestly don't have much of a clue, because it does not affect me, because I am in my own power. I'm not controlled by that. I live a very free, happy life where I go about my business. I'm not scared. I'm just in peace. Yeah, I can't go back to a city. I'm never leaving this place.
Absolutely.
Someone said, I can't imagine you go back to a big city. If you want to know my opinion on Maxine, you should just look at some of my TikToks. I didn't want to talk about it. Okay. I am in Costa Rica. I have a healing village on a property in Punta Uva, Costa Rica, which is the Caribbean side of Costa Rica, where I offer a 1 to 3 month mentorship program for people to come here and stay with me, and we do just lots of personal healing and ascension. It's called Ascension Immersion. Why does everybody want an outfit check? Jesus.
It's very nice.
Keep the boobies in. Go to mamaechel.com if you want to know all of my offerings. Essential oils are great. Hey, Cape in Massachusetts. I used to live in Maine. I do not use astrology because astrology is a third dimensional tool. It's a beautiful tool, don't get me wrong. It has it's very powerful tool when used to step into our power. So what you do is you use a tool in the 3D world. You use a tool. It helps you connect to your power, and as soon as you connect to your power, you need to leave it be. Because what people do instead is they get attached to that tool. And then they go to that tool constantly when we are the tool. We are enough of the tool to where we don't have to go back to it all the time. So I honor it and I respect it, but where I am, I don't use anything physical anymore. I am the tool. I just receive information from source. I really don't go into the third dimension, almost never. Someone asked how much for 3 months. Currently it's $2,900 a month. And if you guys want to know, just go to my page and then you'll find my link tree. It has all my offerings on it. Simulation. We are in a simulation. A simulation is the same as a hologram because it's all through our consciousness. We live in a hologram. We live in a simulation. What if you ascend and your twin flame doesn't? I guess you missed the twin flame talk. You are your twin flame. This is so funny. Thoughts on Reiki and crystals? Reiki is just a fancy word for energy manipulation. All of us have the ability to heal with energy, through energy. We all are energy, so you don't need like a certificate to do that. You just have to believe in yourself. And I guess the certificate is a good tool because it makes you believe in yourself because you have a certificate, but that's also kind of the matrix programming to make you believe that something outside of yourself gave you power whenever it's us that has the power. And it's a label. I think the majority of people are Pleiadian. If we are in the matrix, why can't we change our environment and why do we have to pay for everything? You decide that. You decide that every day when you wake up. You decide to live where you are. You decide to be a part of it. And every single person collectively who is also deciding that they want to wake up inside the matrix and be, trapped and be controlled is creating that low frequency, that lower dimensional hologram. If we would all wake up and decide, I'm not going to be controlled today, and we're going to actually live off of shared abundance through our superpowers, meaning the gifts we have with us from many lifetimes, if we all decided that, money would go and we wouldn't need it anymore. But people are very attached to money because it's a strong energy and because the program created it this way. They use money in the matrix, but we don't need it because we all have superpowers. We all have really strong traits and gifts that we could be using to operate in this world. But money is a trap, so it's still used. So everyone who's deciding it collectively. However, it's not going to be forever. Very soon we will do a shared abundance style community. The more we move out of the big cities, it'll happen that way. What can we do to get out of the matrix? Raise your frequency and evolve your consciousness. It is a mind battle. They made it, I mean, we created it this way. Our collective shadow. And the more, see, here's the deal. We all have a shadow side. The more we open that door and look into our darkness and shine light on it, personally, the less projection goes into the shadow. The shadow is the matrix is the shadow. So if all of us decided to heal from our shadow self, if all of us went inside and we brought all of our darkness to light and walked in truth, consistent with truth, then the lower dimensional matrix program would dissolve. That hologram would dissolve. However, that dimension will always be there. It'll always exist, just like the 24th dimension is always there. It's continuously operating because that is the plane of existence. But it's a choice to stay in a lower dimension. We can choose to evolve out of it. Isn't social media low frequency? No, it's not. It depends on how you use it. I use it to share information and connect to people who are also interested in ascending. If I just used it to go on here and talk crap on people's lives, then yeah, it would be low frequency. Is the Earth flat? No, it's a disc. We live on a mothership. It's a ship. It's a mothership. It's called Mothership Earth. It's called Mothership Earth. It's a ship, and it has a dome on it, which you might call a firmament. It's all a controlled system. Everything is controlled on this ship. I'm not in Hawaii. I am in Costa Rica. Someone asked thoughts on Jesus. Anyone want to fill them in? I have already gone down to that one. I don't want to do it again. Thank you. Oh, thanks, sister. Who owns the ship? That's a great question. Hold on. Ah, the 12 tribes. The 12 tribes, they're 12 of the most powerful cosmic tribes. They came from all over the... I'm not good with the multiverse galaxy situation, but there are, tons of stellar beings, right? There's just so many different beings. So 12 came together and they wanted to create a university. University. So the Earth is a university. And what they did is they wanted to create this. So these 12 cosmic tribes got this ship, created this mothership that we're on. And then the matriarchs from those tribes came in. That's how humans were created, through consciousness conception. The humans were created. And then this whole system that we live in on this spaceship, this mothership, is the universe. Earth School, exactly. Puntuva. You're welcome. Where do I get all this information? The same place you could get your information if you believed in yourself. We all have the ability to unlock this information. Everybody can unlock this information, but it takes clearing the doubt debris from the program. We have to remove ourselves, unplug completely from the program. That means not participating in anything that it offers. Nothing. And then trusting ourselves completely that we are worthy of the information. And then more importantly, whenever we open our channel for source, we have to believe what we're hearing, and then we have to take action. And the more we take action, the more we get information, because our higher council of stellar beings that is also working with us, some may call soul family, they're providing information with us as well. There is a collective source. It's all of the information that is in the ethers. And more importantly, it's what we remember. So for me, I break open a lot of remembrances through DNA activation, through just even when I'm here with my mentees and they're like asking me questions, I can unlock this information that I have stored in my cell memory, which is what some people call an Akashic Records. That every single one of us has every bit of information from creation stored in our energetic body inside of us. You don't have to pay taxes. That's your choice. That's all a trap. Oh man, you people are funny. Okay, someone asked, can you share how to remove matrix distractions from family household? Yeah, that's a great question. And the best thing to do, because rituals exist in 3D, in the lower frequency, in the lower dimensions. Rituals are important in those dimensions for the higher good and for the lower good. Oh, that was you? I thought it was like another animal. And so a low frequency ritual would be turning on the television, playing a bunch of video games, all of those things that we do that seem so normal in the 3D. So what you have to do is if you take a lower dimensional ritual, thank you, Chad, for all of these. I don't know what to do with them. I think maybe I'll just create a bouquet. 9 to... Oh, you gave me 12. That's so cute. So what you do is you replace a low frequency ritual with a high frequency ritual. Always. Just like if you want to quit smoking cigarettes. The best way to do that is to start rolling organic tobacco. So your old frequency ritual is this. Your new high frequency ritual would be rolling organic tobacco and smoking it. And then what you do is you stop connecting so much to the what is that called when people, there's like a attachment to that. Anyway, so you're consistently replacing your rituals until you don't need the rituals anymore. Light. How do we ascend to a higher frequency? To ascend to a higher frequency, you have to become higher frequency. You must become higher frequency by frequency consumption. So this is like one of the last ones I'm going to do. What about soul contracts? We all have a contract that we create in our higher frequency. So all of us reside in a higher dimension, in our higher frequency. That's where our soul family is. That's where our soul resides, and our higher self whenever we're not here. A higher self is just the energy, the spirit of our soul. So whenever people are like, I'm talking to my higher self, you're literally just connecting to your soul. So that's where we reside when we're not in human form. And what was it, the question?
Soul contract.
Oh, soul contract. So thank you. So when we're in our higher dimension, in our higher council, we create a contract. In this contract, we write every lesson we want to learn. The only reason why we're here as humans is to learn lessons, is to evolve our soul in this university, this earth school. And so in our contract, we have these things that we have to meet, these timelines, like the timelines that we will create, we will meet, we will match up. And so while we're on our human experience and we're making choices, the more choices we can make that are high frequency, the more our contract gets more, what am I trying to say? The more we reach that timeline in our contract. So we're like getting closer to finalizing all these lessons, right, that we have created in our higher council. So, excuse me, the more we decide to make low frequency choices, the harder it is to evolve through our contract. And here's the best thing. The way that you know that you are reaching each level of your contract, each lesson in your contract, is synchronicities. The more synchronicities you experience, the more you are on track for your contract. On track for your contract. I wonder if that's connected. Anyway, so we all have a soul contract, and a lot of us, you know, it's pretty common to not finish your soul contract in one lifetime. So you have to go back up to your council and you have to be like, dang, you know, I just couldn't stop doing this, and so I didn't get to this point, and then you have to come back down and you start all over where you left off. So it's pretty important, you know, for us to take responsibility for our actions and to choose high frequencies so that we can finish this contract, so we don't have to keep coming down and doing the human game, because we want to evolve, we want to graduate, if you will. I guess you can say, like, the school system is pretty similar to a soul contract, because you go through all of these different levels and grades, and then you just keep evolving, you know, even though the school system is whack. Okay, I think I'm going to go now. If y'all want to follow my Instagram and my YouTube, I share a lot of information like on those two platforms, and I've been sharing a lot of spicy information on my TikTok. So if you want to stay in the know, I highly recommend following me there. And also sign up for my newsletter, because I'm going to start sharing a lot of information on that too, and you can have updates on Casa de Seva and what we're doing here, and special pricing on my offerings. You need a soul lawyer for that. That's cute. Okay, I'm gonna go now. I can never figure out how to do this. Oh.